right? What is this in response to? Just Weaver? Like, why are you countering a Weaver? He's pause 4. You could just pick this Lion that they've just taken, and it probably achieves the same effect of like countering Weaver.
Or hear me out, Disruptor.
Yeah. Okay.
I wonder if it's like I think it may just be like a hardcore lane counter. Like maybe that's the idea with it. I haven't personally played the Silencer vs Weaver in lane, but in my head it's like that's a pretty annoying hero for Weaver to go against.
Shukuchi.
Yeah.
You have to lane it differently. You have to like swarm, max swarm.
Yeah. So and I think generally the idea with your 5 is to secure the lane and then also have some way to impact the mid game, which is why Disruptor's popular. You've got a good lane secure, strong harass, and then you've got some team 5 potential mid game Silencer, global. Can be impactful.
Secures your lane at all, though.
I am.
He has no way to defend himself. He's
jury's still out on that one
kill.
for me.
The Weaver is literally a hero that likes getting on your backline. The only thing I'll say the Silencer gives is that if they're trying to collapse on someone and kill them, Weaver will not be able to buy just a straight like vessel into Ags. He'll have to buy something to protect himself to purge the silence so that he can get his ult off. That's like I do see the purpose of that, but again, it's a pause for Weaver. Like, why do you care so much?
Oh, there's the Snap.
I love you, Snap. Snap Slardar is so good.
Yeah, it is.
Really nice combo.
Are they laying together though?
Most likely. Well,
Weaver
you
5?
can put Weaver 5. Yeah, that way you avoid the Silencer, right? To counter your lane.
Apparently, I'm not sure if it is a lane counter, but in my head,
I think you're right.
Actually, I will say the minus armor from Weaver plus Slardar is like absolutely devastating as well.
Yeah, I do worry whenever I see like this draft like this where it's like, oh yeah, minus armor from Slardar with the snap, you got physical damage, core and TB, Weaver more minus armor is like, you're going all down one track for your damage. This is where if you're Navi, you're like, okay, itemization, we're tanking up, we're getting armor, we're getting ACs, we're getting Shivers, we're picking here like Storm that can be elusive and not just die to this physical damage. So right now,
Monkey with the extra armor with his ult.
Right now, I think Empire, generally you want to have a bit of balance between the magic and the physical, and they've gone just physical.
Like I'm talking to an oldie, a boomer like myself. This is the guys who, or the person who used to run these drafts all the time was Goldblack. Goldblack used to love. He was the inventor, I would say, of the minus armor drafts. With Jordan like Slardar plus like a million minus armors, and it was Wraith King back then. They used to love with these drafts. He used to have the crit, right? That was a percentage chance. And everyone will always say the same thing. It's like, I don't know, you're kind of all in. And Goldblack would either stomp or get stomped, but there was never a middle ground.
There'd always be a dazzle in there with the old weave.
Yes.
I miss the old weave.
Yeah, it was a fun
Valve
weave.
Been bringing back a lot of the old spells and stuff, like, or at least integrating into a hero a little bit. Like the Tether Stun came back, the level death kind of with the Doom to a certain extent. I want to see that weave come back.
Don't touch my Dazzle.
Cool.
Dazzle's good.
No, we're talking about buffs here.
No,
making him better. You don't want him better?
No, because then people will start playing it, and then people will figure out how to play against him in lane.
Dude, what kind of, you have a hero and you don't want him getting a new spell or getting buffed.
No, because the best thing with this hero is nobody knows how to play against him. So I poison touch and I hit, and people think, oh, it's no big deal.
So anyway, I like how both these drafts are shaping up so far. I think Empire are really coming out strong with this current lineup because their goal so far in the game is to win their lanes with Snapfire Slardar, Weaver Terrorblade, if that's what they want to do. I think Weaver Slardar is also strong, albeit with a little bit harder to get on top of someone without like the cookie initiation. They're going to take Roshan on Terrorblade. He's going to, or whoever they last pick here, they could pick something like Templar Assassin if they really want to like all in on it. I think honestly that would be like a really good pick for them. Yep. And then they just do Rosh as fast as possible, walk down lanes and make it hard for Navi to play into them. Because Navi get a global and then that is the contribution of Silencer. If they pick something like TA, that's a really fast, like she can keep fighting. That's her whole thing. She gets Deso, she keeps fighting. That high tempo ability with Weaver Slardar, who are going to amp this physical damage, like wonderful, like actually just so good. Navi on the other hand, they're playing for pickoffs. They want to catch someone on a side lane with Lion. They want Storm to zip in. They want to kill like that. Quite interesting. I guess she's going to be an Orchid buy, which is really nice against Storm and Lion, and makes them have to like build defensive items.
Yeah, it gives them a bit more damage variety.
Yeah.
There's the team fight that we're talking about for Navi.
Sand King sucks.
Sucks in lane, but he's really good in the mid game. Great against Terrorblade though.
I actually think Sand King should have a free lane.
Yeah, that's the one thing. You mentioned Empire, like they're kind of they're drafting for their lanes for the Slardar lane a bit, but TB's lane looks awful. He got a 5-position Weaver with him, like
versus Sand King line. Yeah, that's tough.
Good luck, Lightless. Your team is setting you up for failure. It feels like with this draft. There's a lot of pressure. I feel like on Shishui with the Queen of Pain to make moves and have a big impact on this game. I like that they didn't go like double down on physical damage. I do feel like you need some like burst magic damage, otherwise you're just not killing. I mean, you can kill people with physical, but they're going to itemize for it. But Ooh.
I think TB is a carry that likes to go to the jungle. So I think what
Yep.
Empire are going to do is they're going to send him away to farm creeps.
Level
and
1 jungle.
Yep. Then they're going to get levels in their supports who are very hungry level supports. And then I think Team Empire are going to have much better team fight than Navi. I think Navi are very dependent on cooldowns, getting blinks, so and so for quite a while.
All right. Well, we've analyzed the draft. Sheepo's given her opinion on how much she hates Silencer. Let's see if Empire is capable of beating this hero, or if Navi will show us its prowess. And now I hear in the distance is doo-doo-doo! Oh, here, here!
Oh my
I
God.
proclaim there's a cast by Cap and Fear.
Cap, my favorite.
Thank you. I'm finally getting my due deserts. I deserve this kind of treatment every single time. Fear does as well. We should sound the trumpets every single time he shows up on screen. Fear, they replaced the Train Protector with a Silencer. Do you feel better about it?
Moderately.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I expected.
I can't get too
Silencer's
hyped
not
about
like
it right
a
now.
super hype 5 position, right?
It can be in the right game, but in general, like, I don't think this hero is that strong for a lot of the reasons that was mentioned on the panel, was neutral items and just in general buying items like Lotus and Manta. There's a lot of ways to make Silencer not scale, but he's very powerful in the mid game when you do not have those items or those neutrals available. So they're gonna have to really take advantage of that timing.
One upgrade to it is that Train Protector, we talked about how hard it is to get the right positioning to be able to be in the team fight. Hey, that's not a problem with Silencer. Anywhere you are, you could provide global silence, but it still makes me quite... It's still not a 5 position that runs around and makes, like, plays happen, right? Because it doesn't provide a stun or a significant slow or anything like that. It provides silences, a slight slow, but it's it definitely feels like, once again, it's going to be largely on our 3-4 combo on the side of Navi to be making things happen. Because it seemed like, as I think you said, Navi, very brute force with all their 5-man smokes. Like, they want to get aggressive, and it felt like in some ways their heroes were limiting them. And it feels like, once again, they're very set on their off lane doing all the heavy lifting for them.
They do have a spirit this game, though, so
True.
you can't expect no one to make some more rotations this game. So Silencer does have a lot of stuns to play with. Actually, everyone on his team has a stun, so this is a pretty good Silencer draft. And one of the things when I used to play a lot of Silencer, what I looked for was having an instant initiation to global on the back of. You can't really use this hero defensively. Like, defensively globaling is the worst thing ever, right? You want to use it,
yeah.
Blink Stun, Sand King, boom, global it, and then get a clean pick initiation, don't let him have a chance.
And Sand King's probably one of the better heroes to have synergy with, right? Because, as you said, like, instant initiation, stuns, and then he no longer has to worry about trying to do the epicenter channel up and then blink in. If he wants, he could just blink burrow, global silence to cover his epicenter channeling after that, and make life a little bit easier for him. Bottom lane, they might be able to catch him here with his burrow strike mid Shikuchi, but no. Weaver gets away. This Weaver support is just been a general nuisance. I don't know how you feel about it, Fear, but I think it is so strong, and I've been spamming the hell out of it to... well, you know, we'll not talk about my own success rate, but I feel like, in general, it's still good. You know, it's still good.
Weaver is one of my few platinum heroes, and I play it on every position. It's just a very strong hero this patch. Support, in the right game, it's good on carry, so people will pick it up, and it is a flex. But mainly it's the support, and it's great. Like, positioning doesn't matter as much. Like, we talk about the Silencer, one of his weaknesses is positioning, right? This guy has no stun, and he has no mobility. If you get on top of him, he dies, but if you're playing a Weaver, there can be a lot more flex on how you position this hero. And aggressive. As you can see on bottom lane, the aggressive part is definitely true.
Yeah, diving past the tier 1 tower to be able to keep General low despite his Tango usage, and he's actually out of regen, so Aloha Dance is probably going to have to pass him over, and they're going to have to ferry some in with the couriers as well. Empire does have a heavily synergistic lineup. We've got the big physical damage of TB, and then they've got 3 different minus armor heroes surrounding this TB. Are you a fan of this kind of approach of drafting? Hold up 1 second.
Real quick, yep.
Yeah, V-Tune taking a lot of damage. He's going to be fine, but it's a decent poke for Empire.
Yeah, he had that bash proc too. It was a really good stun by V-Tune. May have died there if he got it off. What was your question again? Sorry, I got...
Just the physical damage minus armor of Empire. You a fan of this?
Generally speaking, it is quite good. However, in this game, there's no obvious target to use it on, right? Like, Storm's pretty slippery. The Sand King, it could be good, but generally, he'll just die anyway, regardless of how much minus armor you have if you stun him. There's no, like, big hero to use it against, like some Luna or Gyro that just wants to stand the ground. Might come into play against the Monkey King. Oh, bottom lane?
They do manage to pick up that first blood. Aloha dancing. I'm going to say, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed with Kaori. We didn't really get to see him at his best in the previous series because they did lose. But here in this one, where they've taken first game against NaVi in this early start to game 2, he has been super effective, man.
Yeah, his Bane was great. And off to a hot start on this Weaver as well.
General a little late on being able to get the pull. Gives up on it. But meta is going to run out, so by the time the line gets back here, maybe they can get aggressive again, but I don't know. It's just, I feel like TB is just not the same hero he was years ago, you know? Back when he was like a ranged hero only, and then when his melee form, he was practically nothing. I feel like nowadays, even in melee form, he's a serious threat, with Reflection being a pretty good laning phase ability. I mean, it's 35 mana. The way you can spam this is just insane.
Yeah, it was like a patch or two ago they buffed it to 5 seconds duration, and that's when his laning got much better. They also nerfed the crap out of Metamorphosis, right? So, but
Yeah,
they made small adjustments to Reflection, so it just overall made him just a more stable laner. And the problem with Sand King is he's just, and if you don't get that first level 1 to 2, you don't really get a lane at all, right? And he's just gonna, every time he walks up, he's just gonna get bullied like this now. He went for the stun, he didn't go for the caustic, and now it's kind of like impossible, I'd say, for him to win his lane.
Do you feel like that's a bit of a mistake going the Sandstorm build? Because I have just seen all the Sand Kings go the caustic build lately, you know? Like, they've just been all in on trying to dominate the lane through that. I haven't seen a Sandstorm in a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't even mind going caustic into Sandstorm if you need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think right now, I've dabbled in a little bit of Sand King as well. Every time I get stun level 1, I regret it. Every time I don't get caustic, I regret it.
Yeah. Oh,
But
Kaori,
they
they are going to be
here.
able to get the kill. Okay, they even things out with this bottom lane and get General to level 4.
So those kills might be like, oh, see, I got a kill. This is great. But like, he's getting no CS still, right?
Yeah.
So you might be able to kill Pos 5 every once in a while, but if that's your only means of like getting income, you're still not going to be farming that much. It's TB's total free farm. So back to your point about the not getting the caustic, I 100% agree. This hero just needs to find a way to start just pushing the lane and getting the caustic, and you can actually get really farmed on this hero if you do it correctly.
Yeah. I will say, I think one thing Empire did right away, I noticed, is that they immediately shoved the lane in. So they were the ones who got level 2 first and did a really good job of pressuring Navi. I mean, that's what we were talking about, the Weaver diving past the tower, right? They just shoved the lane in as quick as possible, got the level advantage, and just abused the hell out of Navi. And as you said, if you don't get that level 1 or 2 start, things can start going pretty badly for the Sand King. But we could talk about some of the other lanes. Shisui, 38 and 10, a large number of denies there as well. And we're at that period of time where no one is off map. Got his level 6. He's going to show up to the top lane. Going to go for the kill onto Ghost Stick. Batoon probably wanted the extra bit of help here to ensure that the Monkey King can remain in advantage. And, I mean, the Slaughter was getting a lot of that lane, so great gank.
Yep, that was without the rune as well. The Weaver secured the 6-minute one. So just a runeless gank. Did he end up getting the kill? It's pretty big. Yeah, he got it. Okay. If he's making rotation like that, he needs to be getting these kills. We got some stacking going on here.
Yeah,
I guess you can clear it with TB. We'll have to pop meta to do it, but he can do it.
I was looking at the, they just double stacked on Navi's side, both in the triangle and then Storm Spirit, of course, stacking for himself on the Dire side. That's the part that feels good about being Dire, right? Is this little area around the outpost where you can kind of double stack for yourself as a mid laner, especially like heroes like Storm Spirit who naturally have a little bit of time where they get out of lane for a bit.
I will say one thing though, this Monkey King is not clearing that ancient stack though.
No.
They're gonna have to Sandstorm clear it, I guess. You can kill it with max Sandstorm. It's a little slow, but it's not that bad of an option to get you that Blink Dagger if you have a rough laning stage.
Doing a little pull for himself, a 1-3-1 build, continuing to max out the Sandstorm, and fully focused on that to be able to get farm, and that's probably for the best at this point, as I think they just kind of committed to losing this lane. Aloha Dance is dead as he tried to secure the 8-minute rune. It ends up being top. TSA picks up the DD there. And Kaori, he sees this stack, this hard camp stack. If they somehow deny this from the Sand King, it's going to be a real sad days for General.
This is part of why Weaver is so powerful. Like, the melee, mid lane, is there something? No, there's not. Okay. The melee forest kind of fell out of fashion, right? And they were notoriously good at just walking to a triangle, placing a ward, and being like, you know, you can't kill me, I'm a clockwork type of thing, or a tiny. But right now, Weaver, he kind of fills that role. He can just walk wherever he wants, get some deep vision, and not really worry about, you know, seeing a Storm Spirit and being like, oh, I'm dead.
Yeah.
So he can get some good vision out. On top of his like toolkit being good in lane.
I've certainly had some North American carry players call me some choice words because playing for Weaver, you could just kind of like follow them into the jungle and just be like, hey, I'm here. I'm gonna harass you a little bit. I'm gonna take some of your experience, and there's no fear of dying most of the time, as you said, because it's just kind of what Weaver does. Great at being able to pop smoke ganks as well. Fighting over the hard camp here. Shisui and no one going at it. Shisui blinking away, no one misjudging where that blink was headed to. General could still catch up, but he's got level 1 Burrow Strike, so maybe not. So realizing this is a little awkward, they're going to go for the epicenter here, trying to go for the kill. Oh, Kaori, he actually read that was coming. Pops the time lapse right away, managed to dodge the Burrow Strike as a result, and they get away from that. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Ghostic does die there to the solo plus Vatoon gank.
Yeah, he was left alone. Monkey King very strong versus melees. I mean, he dusted him, so we saw that he was channeling Epi there, but
yeah,
not much happening. There's continuing to stack these Ancients on Dire. So Sand King has to do this, I guess. Like, the one downside of playing Monkey Carry, he's a strong laner. It might just be the style that these Eastern European teams, they don't seem to like harder carries. I say that, but there's a Terrorblade in this game. But generally, I've been seeing a lot of Razor carries, Monkey carry, Konka carry. Not your traditional heroes that like farm stacks very well or in the jungle. I guess Konka can, but Monkey can't do it. That's my point, and they have a huge stack there. That's just sitting there. And I wonder if Sand King even knows he can do it, because not a lot of Sand Kings opt to do it. That's like the Monkeys forever, you know? Stack the Ancients forever, farm it on Bat Rider and Sand King. But a lot of offlaners don't really think of it. And we'll see if they think of it this game or if they just go team farm it.
I'm certainly, I feel like Vatoon is hoping they do it, because it always sucks when you're playing hard carry and your ancient camp is denied to you because it's stacked and you don't have the capacity to clear stacks. You know, like some heroes like Wraith King, you know, like I could do a single ancient stack, but if you stack it up too big for me, I can't do anything about it. So then again,
I don't think Monkey should even be in the triangle.
That's true. That's true.
So he's kind of like Monkey and Weaver as carries are very similar to me. It's like they're lane pressure carries and they connect very quickly to like make stuff happen. Where it's nice, you can fit them in with a TA in your draft, but they don't really have like that ancient farmer on NaVi. So if they do decide, they're going to farm it on the Sand King, but Sand King's not going to sit here. This takes a long time, as you can see. And also, Sand King doesn't want to sit here the whole game and clear. So efficiency-wise, NaVi will be out-efficient, I guess, because they won't have this. But bottom lane, looks like they're getting aggressive while farming the stack.
Yeah, TSA actually popping the ultimate here. The kiss is going out. Immediately the global. They're going to TP away. And to piggyback on your point about Monkey King, because he's a lane pressure hero and he likes playing side lane so much, I think it's really important for you to be able to take the enemy safe lane tower, right? Because it extends the lane, which Monkey King can pressure all the way into the tier 2 and make use of all that space that But Empire making sure that they hold on to their tier 1 tower. They're going to keep it alive for a little while longer with these heavy rotations. And now an invasion into the triangle, though Kaori finally gets called out. As clearing through a bit of an ancient stack and maybe getting a support, or maybe Solo's going to get denied by Aloha Dance.
I like that play. I don't know if you saw what happened there, but the Sand King... Oh, wait a sec. The Sand King left the Ancients low for, I don't know, the Storm or the Monkey to clear. And then Shui just goes up and ults it. So, all that stacking, all that Ancient time, it's now gone. And meanwhile, Lightless is going to be clearing up the Ancient stack on the Radiant.
Yeah. And this is, I mean, I assume, do you agree with this? That this is one of those games where I feel like there's a little bit more clear of a timing on each side, right? Like Empire have this nice big hard carry, so feels like once they get like Scotty pick up on TB, that's when they're going to be really strong. Meanwhile, Navi probably going to be a lot more aggressive until then, right?
Yeah, so the timing on Radiant, I think, is purely up to the Slardar, and I'm glad. Like, I play with so many Slardars that just don't know what to buy, right? And you just want them to have this Blink Dagger, but they, I'll get a third item or something. But they need this Blink Dagger to, like, make something happen on the map. So their timing is Blink Dagger, Slardar, and Terrorblade whenever he's ready. Any timing he gets. Maybe Sonic Wave too. But on Navi, it's a little different, because it can be stressful playing Navi's lineup for the reasons I mentioned earlier of they don't have a way of being efficient on the map. They're going to want to do what they do best, I think, is brute force, but, you know, when Monkey King Carry has a couple deaths here and there, he kind of falls pretty far behind. So if this continues, as you saw, Navi had a lead. That lead is going over to Empire now, so this stale gameplay of nothing happening really favors Empire, just because they have the Terrorblade factor. So as you can see, they're trying to make something happen mid. And they're set up in good position for it. Does Empire want to defend this?
Yeah, it's a hard decision to make, right? Because if you do defend, you know you're walking into what Navi basically won. They kind of won a team fight around this area. But at the same time, giving up your mid-tier 1 tower does loosen the control over the triangle, which is what the TV requires in order to be able to carry this game.
To a degree, but it's 15 minutes in the game, and if he loses triangle right now, he's not even there. Like, he's farming, he's farmed enough now where he can cut top and farm enemy jungle, that I think even if he loses triangle, because Navi can't farm it, it's not a big deal. Alright, they're branching off, they smoked. They're doing a 3-man smoke in the triangle. They broke.
Yeah, it broke. General, he's gonna go forward as Solo goes down. Nice, fast fingers from Ghostic though. He managed to blink himself away. Gari's gonna be able to get a little bit of vision here and gets the bugs onto Aloha Dance. His squishy support is gonna be in trouble here as the Slardar hops forward. He does manage to turn around and kill the Weaver first, but Aloha Dance is certainly dead. TSA gets caught by the Storm Spear, but the Orchid pickup from Shizui. Oh, he cannot commit. He knows the Monkey King is probably somewhere nearby and can't afford the silence from Solo. They're going to be able to catch Lightless. That is a really big pickup if they can get it. He's got the Sunder, gets it off, turns around, kills the Sand King, but he's got to get out of this Wukong's command. Needs one more hit. The Storm Spirit commits for it. No one picks up that killing spree. Shizui in the back did have a nice Sonic Wave, evening out this team fight, but ultimately the big hard carry of Empire does fall. Shizui's not going to let this go, though. Another fresh round of Orchid, and they're going to be able to get the kill onto no one. This may turn things a bit more in the favor of Empire, almost catching Vatoon as well, but he slides away into the trees.
I find myself at, like, well, having a lot to say, but not knowing where to start, because, like, I don't know what's going on with these smokes. Like, that was the most awkward smoke I've ever seen. So I kind of want to, like, start there. But it ends up working out, but then Empire come back and they just turn it around. Both teams seem like they really want to fight. It's, like, more of the story here. Because I think Empire could have
go for it again.
Back there.
Another awkward engagement, a bit of a poke, but nothing committed. That was
because they smoke and 2 heroes run bottom and 3 run top, and it's like it's such a weird DC to me. But they might catch the bug here. Oh.
Gets out the time lapse just before the Burrow Strike again. Looks like they still got him, though, as no time lapse for the second round. As General. Oh, sorry, that was actually Yule Scepter from No One. Who's Yule's first in order to counter the Orchid first of Shisui.
Kind of a strange approach. It's a very defensive approach. I don't remember No One having like that type of mentality. Because normally I see this, they both go Orchids, right? And it's like, I feel like that favors the Storm because you just get on the Quap and she's dead. And you have a better jump than Quap does. More reliable at least. Or if Quap jumps you, just Orchid her and walk away.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a trade-off. But this one's like very defensive, where it's like, if Quap jumps me, I'll save myself type of thing.
Global Silence into the epicenter. General was pumping this for a while, and that Magic Burst is going to be enough. Certainly, Shisui give it away a dominating streak, and the Storm Spirit is still going to be able to get more, potentially. Ghostic inside of the water. He's a pretty fast fish, so NaVi, oh, they got to be careful. Lightless actually coming in. The Mortimer's Kisses. V-Tune's in serious trouble with the magic damage and the damage of Lightless. It's almost enough, and he turns in. Courier form is not good enough. Aloha dances back lines. A high ground shot is going to be good enough. Lightless gets a second kill for them. Kaori, well, he dives in a little bit too deep, and NaVi return fire, but still, Empire okay with the revenge that they got for their Quap, especially if they can get this mid-tower with the meta push. A pretty good use of meta, I would say, for the DB.
That's very ideal. So far in all these fights, you saw the Mortimer's Kisses getting cancelled by the Kobo, right? That one, they blew everything on the Quap, continued to chase still, and got punished for it pretty hard. Until they get their BKBs up, and this Monkey team's not even close. It's going to be hard to fight into the Mortimer's Kisses without Global being up.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a lot of small items for Vitoon. The Orb of Corrosion, Maelstrom, and then Echo Saber even. He could still break apart the Echo Saber for a faster BKB, but it's, as you said, it's going to be a slow BKB for sure. Plenty of time for Empire to either keep farming into the Scotty. I always feel like Scotty's like the okay, TB's truly online at this point in time. Everything else is like kind of build up. He could play around with the meta, but like Scotty TB, I'm terrified.
It's Scotty or BKB. Well, those are like the two big timings for the hero, depending on the game. This is like not the scare. They found the TB, but do they have the damage? Oh, they do.
Oh, they've got enough burst, and they're going to be able to catch Kaori in the backline as well. Nice Sonic Wave coming in from Shisui, but not enough to get a kill, as a well-executed smoke gank from NaVi catches the hard carry of Empire.
Yeah, I'd like to see. So this is like NaVi style, right? They love these smokes. They love just running at you. I'd love to see Empire like not react as much to these. If you are getting gone on when there's 5 heroes off the map there and you're Terrorblade, you're dead, right? There's nothing that's gonna save you there. What they could have done is let him die and just kept his bottom lane pushed all the way, kept farming here. And that really punishes like these teams that like to overcommit heroes for ganks, even if it's on your carry. Because like you get 1 kill, but you don't get map control. As you can see, they're already back on their side of the map. These ganks aren't like incredibly efficient or anything. They're not fighting for territory. It's just going for a kill.
Yes. And forcing them to be able to do the upkeep on these side lanes also leads to opportunities for the Quap to get pickoffs.
Double damage.
Yeah, for sure. So they can keep playing the side lanes like this. And NaVi also is really good at playing side lanes as well. But they are going to opt for, I'm sure, every time they might. All right, Storm.
Oh, no one. That was a well-timed jump. Self-heals in order to get rid of that Orchid, and we'll be fine.
The Weaver is pretty farmed, though, for a 5. It looks like he will be getting an Ags at some point in this game, and that's when I think TB is going to be very scary. I was about to make the point of, like, even if TB gets the Scotty in this particular game, there is so much stun, and there is so much magical damage that it will not keep him alive.
Yeah.
A BKB might have been a better choice in this game. I'm sure he'll get it after. But, like, if you look at, like, Lion, Sand King, Storm, like, just those heroes is enough to kill TB, even with Scotty, if there isn't some type of save in place.
Okay, so let me ask you this. How does Empire, playstyle-wise, how do you prevent your... Because it sounds like to me, like, if TB gets jumped...
Weaver just showed you right there. He breaks smokes. Play in front of your TB.
So he's just got to be like, where does my TB want to farm and be 5 steps ahead of him, right?
Yeah, just like when... So The name of the game is you're gonna look at top lane here. All right, they're jumping bottom real quick.
Yeah,
Will they get more?
Go on. Oh, maybe. TSA into the trees, but I don't think there's any saves. They're just going to fearlessly dive this tier 2. And that's going to be another support.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack.
So they just need to play the map, keep these side lanes pushed out,
Radiant's
and
middle tower is
just
under
place
attack.
the Weaver next to TB, right? Just put them in positions where you think they're going to come from. Because if they're not farming top and they're not farming bottom, as you can see, they have to be playing in the middle of the map. And if they're playing in the middle of the map, that means they're probably going to invade your triangle. They're looking to kill Terrorblade. So that should be fairly easy to read for a support. So until they have the timings that they're looking for, they either need to play on vision, read it, take a team fight, or just kind of make your Weaver die a couple times, keep farming, and you're just going to out-farm Navi. As you can see, they're still up 1k gold on Empire, even though they're down, you know, kills.
Yeah. And that'll continue as long as Lightless is able to farm these parts of the map. And Kauri is kind of doing what you were saying, just being in front of Lightless as much as possible. And we'll see how Navi now adapt to this little wrinkle. If they're going to still try and brute force smokes, if it still works for them. Looks like they're baiting no one right now, but nobody took the bait. So there
goes the
smoke.
Radiant are scanning.
You know where they're going. Down the mid
They're
lane.
going to the triangle, and Kauri's sitting there waiting for him. So I like to see adaptations. They still manage to blink forward and catch Lightless, but this time the rest of the team can't follow because the smoke is already being broken, and it's just going to be a Loha dance dying like that. So, Fear, let me ask you, like, Empire have figured out the counterplay. What is the counterplay to that counter? What does Navi now do in turn?
Navi should push the side lanes more. Like, stop, like, they're like beating their head into a wall, like, this whole series, right? they have one play. Yeah. You know, they should think more about how they can play on these side lanes, use the Monkey King to push out the lanes. I'd like for them to push their lanes out before they make these plays. Like, if you want to make these smokes, the only way you can make them less obvious is by pushing the side lanes first. Make a hero show, right? Someone has to show on these side lanes before you make that play. Otherwise, it's like, it's a brainless play. Like, you're not really thinking much. You're just doing it, and they're just going to do it again, right? Just go. Like, at least they push bottom this time, but it's, you're not forcing any reaction.
Yeah, Empire, they haven't rotated just yet, but the brute force works. They caught the Queen of Pain on the low ground, and they're going to look for more here. Batoon? Okay, they spot an illusion. No.
They can't do Roche.
Maybe he jumped into the trees, but I guess not.
Just like last game, they don't have an answer for this Roshan. Kind of a weakness in how they like to play their carries. There's no, like,
on the other side.
Yeah, there's no, like, something that helps them, right? Like, no Slardar on the other side, as you're about to say.
If it was Empire and they get like a single core pickoff, like boom, Roshan's gonna die in like 10 seconds. But Navi, they gotta just kill and kill and kill over and over again in order to get themselves enough of an opening to do something like that.
Yep, and it's gonna reach the same point as last game where I was talking about, where they ran out of smokes. They're gone. There's no more. Meanwhile, we got 2 on Weaver, so what I do like here is, like, they push the lanes out on Empire, and then now they're going to go smoke, it looks like. I guess they don't have mid-wave out, but Sand King, if he shows on top lane, that'll make Empire feel very safe to jump anyone around the mid lane with Sand King top.
They got a TB, so it's pretty easy to be able to shove the lanes without committing a hero anywhere. TB was kind of joining his team for that smoke, and now they're going to move to the other side of the map. They've got 27-minute timing coming up, so likely
BKB
somebody wants to
Empire.
farm neutrals. Jump forward. They're going to be able to find the Storm Spirit, see if they can blow him up nice and quick. Gets off the Yule Scepter. He's got a Bloodstone. He's got a... oh, no. Shisui's just gone. V-Tune. The Tune managed to get the catch in. They were going to be able to chase Ghost Stick all the way down because that Arcane Rune that no one had, they tried to get that initiation, and if it wasn't good enough, no one was going to punish you for that. Empire just not reading, I guess, the chain stuns quite well enough.
Yeah, Shisui did not use that BKB I was talking about. Not respecting the instant stuns on Navi. But that was a great timing for them. They had Scotty, BKB Slardar, BKB Quap. But Quap jumped in, held their BKB too long, got instant hexed, and that was it. No spells from Quap, so Storm survived.
That's such a shame because we just got done talking about the fact that they get any sort of team fight win. Empire's going to be able to take Roshan. Instead, it's NaVi with such a prominent victory are going to be able to all in on Roshan. They get themselves the Aegis now, and Aegis Storm Spirit, one of the best heroes to utilize something like that with a Bloodstone as well. Like, he's basically got 3 lives in a team fight. They're going to be able to get the free pick off on the Weaver, and things... It was a good timing for Empire, and misexecution just means everything's gone sideways.
Yeah, but mid lane here. Oh, we can't even get him with the Eagles. Oh, they did. Okay.
Sonic Wave still followed up the Lotus Orb, removing the Orchid, but still had the damage. So BKB is committed by Empire, though, for that pickup.
It's fine for them, right? They don't really want to like do anything on the map with this Aegis and Storm Sand.
Yeah.
I used to be a big fan of putting Aegis on Storm and these Linas. Seems like in Eastern Europe here, the frontliners aren't really getting the Aegis. Last game they were kind of punished on Kunkka for it.
Yep.
And we'll see if they do the same thing in this game. It just means this Monkey King has to play even more passive. He can't really show in the front. If he had the Aegis, like, my logic on this is basically whoever goes in first should hold the Aegis, and I don't think Storm ever wants to go in first. Like, he'll benefit just as much as Monkey going in and them using all their spells on Monkey and getting a good jump than just respawning, right? Because he doesn't want to do a blind jump, no matter if he has the Aegis or not. He needs the vision to make sure he lines it up well. But it really just seems their style that they just want to give no one on these, like, agility, these end heroes the Aegis. See how it works out for them. But it just means V2 has to be very careful on his positioning.
And so far, he's done a good job of that. He's only died once in this game, and looks like they're gonna...
Oh, here it goes! Deja vu!
Oh god, it's happening again! The initiation from Ghostic. They're just gonna commit the BKB and try and bash him down, but the BKB from Vatoon means that Empire actually going to give up for a second here. Vatoon realizes, oh god, there are more heroes, and jumps into the trees, jumps backwards as the BKB was fading. They pop meta for this as well. I think they thought they were going to be able to get some sort of stun onto the Storm. Either way, it's a meta now wasted.
Yeah, they didn't have the follow-up on that Monkey. If TB was there with the Scotty on him, maybe they could take that fight, right? But
yeah,
he just did not join that fight, and then he joined late. Wasted meta. Bit awkward there for Empire.
He's got his BKB, at least on the side of Lightless. He picked apart his Dragon Lance for an earlier BKB and then re-put it back together with the Oak Club he can now afford. NaVi with a 5-man smoke, as is their wont to do, as Shizui is going to be able to pop the fast BKB and blink out, so nicely read by him.
That's just like, just for everyone watching, you know, like the reason why I'm harping on this is look at all their lanes. Top's pushed, mid's pushed, bottom's pushed, right? These guys are good players. Like, they have to know that no one on NaVi is showing in any lane. Where could they be, you know? So he's ready. I'm sure his finger's on that BKB button. Like, all right, guys, if I see anything, I'm gonna pop in it and I'm out.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
You know what's funny is right outside of the casting room here at BTS is a photo of the old Virtus Pro with obviously Solo and No One, and that was at the summit that they did their All Hero Challenge, I believe, that they won that one. It was a nice reminder for me between Game 1 and Game 2 of like the greatness that those two did achieve. And we're hoping to be able to see that rekindled again on this NaVi lineup, which, in order to do so, they got to be able to beat teams like Empire, who, by no stretch of the imagination, we're not expecting Empire to be heading to the majors. So if NaVi wants to be going to the very first major of this season, they got to be able to take wins like this. They got to be able to bring this back after the first game lost. 32 minutes, NaVi being aggressive, looking for an opening, gotta be able to find it on the Lightless. That's a big kill if they can lock it down, and surely they've got it. The Finger of Death is enough. They thought maybe the Weaver Eggs could save him, but that Global Silence covers it. Now Ghostic's going to be caught by the Scotty as well from Vatoon. And Na'Vi, a huge win. None of these heroes have buyback. The world is their oyster, as is these tier 2 towers.
Yeah, we just had massive chain stun for the TB, and the global shuts down the Weaver Ags, so TB's got to be careful. I don't think he can get jumped in this game. There's just too much.
Certainly not. Shisui not scared, even though they don't have any buybacks of jumping in fearlessly like that. The Stormseer's going to be able to chase him down here. No one full-on commitment by him. He's like, you've got no other cores. I'm not afraid of these supports. Gets that kill. Now it's 60 seconds until Empire are in their full fighting force, so Na'Vi gonna have to wait for the creep wave, but eventually they'll get this tier 3. And if they keep getting pickoffs, okay, nice Weaver Ag save. It does mean it's on cooldown for 15 seconds. Ghostic, ooh. Inside of the Sandstorm, wasn't able to get his blink off first, so misses the Slitherine Crush.
You won't escape. I think they will. Yeah, this Empire team, like, no disrespect to them or anything, but it seems like one of those teams that, like, it's like a training ground for, you know, new players, maybe you're not so familiar with, to get poached by some of the bigger teams later on, once they prove themselves.
That has been a Na'Vi MO for quite some time, is to feed off of some of the junior teams.
Oh. Not this time. They're just bringing out the old men.
As we are both kind of old dogs of the scene. What is your thought? 'Cause I was very critical of Na'Vi because I saw the rest of Eastern Europe. I said, okay, there's a lot of fresh talent coming in. You just saw Team Spirit win TI. I was like, give more younger players a chance. Don't go with the old dogs. And I was very critical of that. Na'Vi, though, going to try and prove that they can do it here with nice two-man crush coming out from Empire to start things off. The Lion's already gone, and Lightless is beating into Vatoon. But underneath this Wukong's command, the armor is actually doing a decent amount for him until the Sonic Wave, the pure damage comes in to clean him off the face of the earth. And no one is actually very low on mana with the Cookie coming forward. Nice little last zip from no one, but there's nothing left after that. He is totally out of mana, enough to be able to sell fuels, but he comes back into a world of hurt from Empire. Empire sees the initiation, they seize the day, and once again, this game just keeps going round and round. Feels like game one all over again. It's just the back and forth between the two. General does jump forward and catches the Weaver with that. The buyback coming out from this Monkey King, but a crush comes in. Ghostic revealing him thanks to the shard on that one, but oh, it looks like Empire have gotten a little bit eager. They forced a lot of buybacks, yes, but now they've got to make sure they can get out, and it looks like Shisui is not going to be able to do so.
I think the only thing that Empire needs to worry about is just TB can't get jumped. I think that's going to make or break every fight. Yeah, they stayed a bit longer there, but they got the carry buyback. It would have been nice if Quap got out there, but not the biggest deal as usual. Like, what are they going to get out of this from Na'Vi by getting those kills? Maybe a little farm. Maybe they'll get the lanes pushed out a little bit. But just a couple kills doesn't even really pay back for the buyback cost for Monkey here, so he just has to be careful. To frontline even further now on Monkey, because now there's a clear win condition if Monkey dies and TB's alive, they're going to be coming for your base.
Yeah, they've got a minute and a half until Roshan potentially spawns, so they've definitely got a clear window if Empire wants to be able to try and do Roshan and push high ground with an Aegis while Monkey King still has that buyback on cooldown. Aloha Dance sneaking away a bounty rune. A very aggressive maneuver. I'm not sure if that reward was going to be worth the risk, but hey, you got it.
Yeah, you can tell Na'Vi really wants to smoke right now, but I don't think they have any. And right now, Empire's just camping a ward, so it's going to be hard to breach this ward. Oh, they have their own vision there? No, those are just sentries. Okay.
Yeah, look at that. Double high ground vision for Empire. Like this would be a total disaster if Na'Vi did try and push into that triangle. They've set this pattern a number of times, and it looks like Empire has been waiting for the rotation in, but Na'Vi didn't actually do so this time.
Yeah, I think pretty reliable pattern. I don't blame them for it.
Yeah,
it's just sometimes it's kind of hard to have a read on how many smokes the enemy has.
Yes.
So they probably don't realize that they're out of smokes on Navi.
I have a hard enough time keeping track of the Roshan timer, Fear. That, let me just tell you, I'm a bad support. I'm a bad support, you know?
Well, at least
like,
they
what's
made
the
that
Roshan
easier
timer?
for you
I
in
have
the
no
recent
idea.
patch.
How many smokes do they have? No clue, guys.
What's the cooldown on their ultimates? Not even get started there.
Lightless found that Roshan an early spawn for them, which is, I would say, definitely to Empire's advantage.
Who's Shard go on this game? TB, Slaughter, and Fall already have it. Weaver's not bad.
Yeah.
Who took it? Did Snap take it? Yeah, Snap
He gave it to
that's...
the, yeah.
No blink, though. I don't know, is that the best choice?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I know nobody likes Demon Zeal. I think I've only seen that once in a pro match of out of
It's okay if you have
thousands of games.
Satanic, but it looks like he's gonna take it.
Okay. All right. We'll see how the
It's
Demon
honestly
Zeal works.
very powerful spell. It's just you kind of burst kill yourself, right? That's the only downside.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Lion. Hello.
Oh, dance! Jesus. He blinks away 4 steps. I don't know.
They looked at each other for like 2 seconds. They were just like looking at each other, and they had a gentleman's agreement or something there.
The entire time, General was sitting on the other side of the river, pumping up the epicenter over and over again, and I thought, if Aloha Dance stuns here, General can follow it up, but, okay.
I mean, it's one of those instances where they're probably all looking at the side lanes and not on their screen.
Yeah. And now, I mean, meta is going to be running out soon. NaVi. Let's see if whether or not... Okay, Finger of Death leading off, forcing out the BKB, I guess. Now they're going to be able to follow up. Shisui does have the Aeon Disc, but they popped that now. So now there's nothing left to be able to save this Quap unless the Weaver could do so, but the Chain Stun lined up from Vatoon with the Boundless Strike, catches the Weaver as well, and denies the time lapse.
Alright, good chase, knowing that they used all their cooldowns on Empire. Heads up play there to just keep going. These metas have just been very premature, right?
Yeah,
Really...
yeah, no, they have.
They need to back a little bit further. It's like the classic, you know, DP's ulting hitting a tower. As you click on them, you see it's expiring soon, then you just go. And you have to be one step ahead of that and back like halfway through your meta so you don't put yourself in that situation.
An Empire. Seems we're just trading high ground sieges at this point. NaVi. Let's see if they can actually get a barracks this time around. 30 seconds for the Queen of Pain, but they're still fighting into an Aegis, so it's a little bit scary, and it's not surprising
the
the NaVi.
on TB.
Oh,
so they
yeah,
can still fight. Gives you a 10-second window, which is sometimes enough to win a team fight when meta's down.
Yeah, absolutely. And even not, if you go back into melee form, you've got yourself that Demon Zeal. Aloha Dance. Aloha Dance is just so wild. And if it gets out again, how does he keep doing this? What is happening? He's like running through the entire Empire team and gets away scot-free every single time.
The Slaughter, it's just up to Slaughter and Qualf to punish this, but it's one of those situations where you're just like, there's no way he's alone, right? Like, it must be that, right? There's no other reason, but he doesn't have an Aeon Disc. It's like, he has a lot of defensive items like Blink Force and Ghost Scepter, but I think if you see a line, even if he is baiting, I think you just go for it, right? Like, it's a lion.
Yeah.
It's always a valuable kill.
I mean, it's been a big part of the reason they've been able to bury TB through a lot of these initiations, the Finger of Death, burst damage. It's a huge helping hand for that last third of damage that they need to be able to finish them off. Long zip coming in from the Storm Sphere. They're going to be able to go for the Weaver first. No time lapse in this fight unless he buys back, which he's going to, and rejoining this fight soon. The TV gets hit by the Boundless Strike. Vatoon's going to go pop his Wukong's command. They're going to fight underneath this one. Lightless needs the help, though, and he actually gets off the Terror Wave just a little bit too late. He's going to come back into his second life, but he will not have meta to be able to play with, nor the Terror Wave, and he's still surrounded, but the Wukong's command does run out. There's no saves from anybody, though. The Weaver died twice in that fight, and that was the only save they had for this TB. Down for 80 seconds. That may just be it, or at least a massive lead for NaVi at bare minimum, Fear.
Yeah, Navi's just out team fighting him at this point in the game. This is like the advantage of having experienced players. They generally team fight better. They know their timings and they know when to take these team fights. I was a bit critical on how they play their mid game, but their team fighting has been pretty good. Alao Dance has been really good on his initiations too.
Yeah.
On this line.
I will say this is a big reason why Weaver's support was very, very meta for a period of time, and one of the things that got nerfed was the cast range. And I can vouch for this. When you play against line stuns, it's actually very annoying to play, to try and get time lapse off, just because it's such a small cast range nowadays. And I'm not sure if I've seen a single time lapse on a core in a fight yet.
Yeah, I think Ags was the wrong choice this game. I think they should have went for a Lotus Orb or a Solar Crest. It's just against a Silencer and this many stuns, it's not really working out, you know. And all these late game fights are always going to be these big team fight initiations.
Ghost Stick starting off by poking at Vatoon, but you could see the discipline there from Vatoon. He didn't even pop his BKB. He was not scared of that initiation whatsoever. The Terror Wave goes out, but dodged pretty well by no one. Gets it off his BKB. Turn around. Lotus Orb. Is that enough to protect him? It's not. Lightless is dead again. No buyback there. And this is very much a hard carry lineup. So without the TB, that's it. Empire call it. We are going to be going to a game 3 as NaVi do manage to strike back here.
Yep, they had a bit of a rough mid-early game. They weren't super far behind, but they felt a little nervous in their mid-game because they didn't have a way to farm the Ancients, but their mid-late game team fighting just superior to Empire. A little too many mistakes from them.
And it seems like mistakes are a continual thing in this series overall, because there were times where Empire felt like they were in decent control of the game. I mean, we had, I think it was NaVi pushed high ground, and then in turn Empire pushed high ground. Then we had back and forth from NaVi. It's what would you attribute that to specifically? That kind of back and forth.
Well, I think it was just pickoffs, right?
Yeah.
The NaVi ended up picking off Empire, and then Empire ended up getting picks on NaVi in the base, so they were able to go to the high ground. And both times they just overstayed their welcome a little bit and caused some structural damage because of that.
Well, it's good for us. That means we get to see a game 3. We'll get more of your thoughts, but we got to go to a break and check in with our panel. So we'll see you guys for game 3.